Nope, that's not true. Revelation 20 is all about the millennial reign, the 1,000-year reign, in which the 144,000 are ruling and reigning with Yeshua. New Jerusalem is appraising all the earth. It's the holy city, and there's so many prophecies leading up to that point that just have not been fulfilled yet. And the only reason you're saying what you're saying is because you're ignorant of these prophecies. So, Jacob the servant has to rise up before the 144,000 are caught up, and that is in the process of happening right now. The second Exodus has to happen first. That has not happened. The two sticks have to be brought together and become one again. That has not happened, and that's talking about the house of Israel and the house of Judah being brought back together. They're still scattered to the four corners of the world, so that hasn't happened yet. Great tribulation has to happen. That hasn't happened yet. The Antichrist has to be revealed. That hasn't happened yet. The 144,000 being caught up and then returning and executing fiery vengeance on the world. That hasn't happened yet. It's like the world, when the world goes through great tribulation, it won't. To suggest that the world has already gone through great tribulation and then recovered to the point where we're at now is just absurd. The Messiah tells us that great tribulation will be the worst time ever. Literally not a time before it and not a time after it will ever even come close to the atrocities that is going to go on during great tribulation. So clearly we haven't gone through great tribulation. But I haven't even hit the main point yet. Okay? Now, in 2 Peter 3 and in other places as well, we are told not to be ignorant of this one mystery, which you haven't listened to that warning because you are ignorant of this one mystery. We're told not to be ignorant of this one mystery, that a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. Okay, and then when you compare that to Hosea 6 verse 2, it tells us that the Messiah is going to tarry, which means wait. He's going to tarry for 2 days, and then in the third day he will revive us. Now what that's talking about is the same thing that Acts 3:19 through to 26 is talking about, where it says that the refreshing came from the presence of Yeshua, whom the heavens must receive until the times of restitution of all things. Now the times of restitution of all things is everything that I just explained. The tribulation, the second Exodus, the 144,000, and then eventually New Jerusalem being appraising all the earth, and the Messiah and the 144,000 ruling and reigning. But in between the refreshing and the restitution, it says that the heavens must receive him. So the heavens receiving him is for those 2 days from Hosea 6:2, and then in the third day he'll revive us. So if a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and the heavens must receive Yeshua for 2 days, that means that the space between him being crucified and resurrected and him sitting on his throne and ruling and reigning is 2,000 years. Okay, so here we are in 2024, we're almost at that 2,000 year mark. And then of course you have to take off 3.5 years of great tribulation. And then at the end of that 3.5 years, that is when New Jerusalem will be the praise in all the earth, and the Messiah and the 144,000 will be ruling and reigning. But we cannot be in the 1,000-year reign because we're still in the 2 days. We're still in the period between the refreshing and the restitution, and they're not going to coincide. The millennial reign is the 7th day. It's the Sabbath of the creation. You can think of it like that. It's the 7,000th year. It's 1,000 years of Sabbath. So no, we are not in that. We are not in that period yet. The only reason you're saying this is because you are ignorant of the prophecies surrounding the millennial reign, the 1,000-year reign. So, during the millennial reign, Israel will be at peace, it'll learn war no more. Well, how could that possibly be happening if Israel is still scattered to the four corners of the world? It makes absolutely no sense. So no, we are not in Revelation 20. Revelation isn't even a linear book. It jumps around in the timelines. But really, if I had to say where we are in Revelation specifically, we're in Revelation 6. We're in the fifth seal. The fifth seal is open. The first four seals are the four archangels roaming the earth. We're in the fifth seal, waiting on the sixth seal, which is when Satan is cast down to the earth, and that's when the 3.5 years of Great Tribulation begin. And that's going to happen in the springtime, because it's the parable of the fig tree. Satan is cast down, and he brings a third of the angels with him, as a fig tree that is shaken of a mighty wind, and casteth forth her untimely figs. Well, figs are ripe and ready to go in the summer, so the untimely figs is the springtime. So sixth seal opens in the springtime. Very, very, very well could be this next spring coming up. But, it also may not be. I'm not going to sit here and say it 100% is or it 100% isn't. But, when you look at the war going on in Jerusalem, which is not the Gog and Magog war, you probably think that as well. The war going on in Jerusalem right now is the war that we see in Jeremiah 4 through to 8. It is the war that we see in Zephaniah 2, where the meek of the earth are executing righteous judgment in the world. That's talking about Jacob as well. And it says that Gaza will be forsaken. Well, God is telling us, when Jacob is rising up and proclaiming the refreshing of the covenant, like Paul tells us in Romans 10 and quoting Isaiah 52. When you see that, and you see that Jerusalem is encompassed by her enemies in that war, know that the great and terrible day of the Lord is near. So, yeah, we're not in the millennial reign, not even close.